Anyway, let's talk about monopolies, you guys. Because people are shrieking about monopolies these days, and I think it might help to first define what a monopoly is. According to Merriam-Webster, their website, they have a few different definitions. The exclusive ownership through legal privilege, command of supply, or concerted action, exclusive possession or control, a commodity controlled by one party, or one that has a monopoly, although the fourth one is a little redundant. I would define a monopoly as one party having complete control over a certain good or service over a certain geographic region. Although, as we know, the term just gets thrown around loosely by charlatans these days and grifters and hacks and power lusters who they just use it interchangeably to describe big corporations they don't like. Walmart is one of these big scary monopolies. I remember hearing as early as back as the early 2000s that Walmart, they're this big scary monopoly. They're taking over all of retail and grocery in the United States, and once that happens, they're just gonna jack up prices and squeeze consumers. But even as early or as late as 2019, Nathaniel Mayerson of CNN Business wrote about how a scathing report says Walmart's grocery store dominance must be stopped, saying that Walmart has monopolized the grocery business across the United States and should be forced to sell off some of its stores, an advocacy group charged in a scathing report released on Thursday.
Blow it out your ass.
So did you guys know this, that in 2019, in the United States, there was only one grocery store in the entire country, and that grocery store was Walmart. You guys remember that? You guys remember 2019, that being the case? There were no other competitors to Walmart in the industry of selling groceries.
Here to the no, here to the no, to the no.
Then there was this article on Business Insider from Paul Constant in 2021. I guess this went on for 2 years because he wrote a story about how giant retailers like Walmart rob American consumers of choice. And here's how antitrust regulation could help resurrect local businesses. Of course, this whole theme falls apart when you consider another large corporation like Amazon, who in 2018, according to Jacob Bacharach of Salon Magazine, wrote about how the uncomfortable truth about Whole Foods and Amazon's grocery monopoly. So maybe that's what happened. Amazon, they monopolized. So before 2019, Amazon, I guess, monopolized groceries, and then Walmart just took back over in 2019. Is that what I'm supposed to believe? It's not just a Salon. The New York Times. The New York Times also wrote a piece about this in 2017 by Lena M. Khan about how Amazon bites off even more monopoly power. So yeah, how is this possible? How can Amazon be a monopoly and Walmart be a monopoly in the same industry? Wouldn't that undermine this whole narrative? Of course, now there's a new big, bad, scary monopoly in groceries. According to Robert Reich, just a few days ago. And for those who don't know, Robert Reich, he's one of these economic experts. He teaches at Berkeley. He asks, why are grocery prices so high? Monopoly power. Talking about how if Kroger succeeds in merging with Albertsons, Kroger is one large grocery chain, and Albertsons is another large grocery chain. Kroger will control Safeway, Ralph's, Smith's, Harris Teeter, Dillon's, Fred Meyer, Vons, Jewel Osco, and Shaw's. Wasn't just Robert Reich. We also had a public citizen who I guess claims to stand up to corporate power. Has 537,000 followers on Twitter. We're people-powered and accept no corporate money. Well, good for you, I guess. But they tweeted the other day, holy hell, Kroger is planning to merge with Albertsons. If it succeeds, Kroger will have control. I'm not going to read that list again. But they said, if you're wondering why grocery prices are so high, look at the source. Oligarch control. Are you guys getting this? They're trying to blame the inflation that we've seen over the last 2 years on this oligarch control, on this merger before it even happened.
That's just not smart.
We also have senators like Bolshevik Bernie Sanders saying that at a time when food prices are soaring as a result of corporate greed, it would be an absolute disaster to allow Kroger, the second largest grocery store in America, to merge with Albertsons, the fourth largest grocery store in America. The Biden administration must reject this deal. And I find this part funny because Bernie Sanders is one of these clown shows who often uses this term unfettered capitalism. Is this what unfettered capitalism is, Bernie? When I guess the president of the United States has the power and the authority to say, if two corporations are making a deal, presumably on mutual self-benefit, the sitting president can just step on in and say, no. That's too much. It's too much power over one sector of the economy. Of course, one part that's often not discussed when talking about big, scary monopolies. Whenever we talk about stuff like mergers and acquisitions, I guess going back to the Whole Foods Amazon thing, according to this article on Business Insider, a reason why Amazon bought Whole Foods is because the CEO, John Mackey, was looking for someone to buy Whole Foods because he was concerned about this group of activist investors who were trying to launch a hostile takeover of Whole Foods and was worried that these investors would ruin the integrity of the business, would ruin Whole Foods' unique brand. So then he sought out rich investors like Warren Buffett and others, and eventually convinced Jeff Bezos and Amazon to purchase Whole Foods. Whenever we talk about mergers and acquisitions, we don't talk about the people who benefit. It's something that I thought about when the New York Times bought the new game, the new hot word game, Wordle. And I was just thinking, wow, good for the guy who created this game. Immediately finding someone to give him a fat payday, folks. Not to mention, I think this is a little bit overblown to call Kroger and Albertsons a monopoly, as Robert Reich might have you believe. According to this article on CNBC, just a few days ago, talks about how Kroger agrees to buy rival grocery company Albertsons. This article talks about how the grocery industry is highly fragmented. Privately held regional grocers such as H-E-B in Texas and Publix in Florida remain power players and command strong loyalty. And I was thinking about this too. I'm originally from the great state of Michigan, and I know that Meijer, not to be confused with Fred Meyer, as mentioned earlier, but Meijer, it's one of these Walmart-like stores, and they're pretty popular in the state of Michigan. Also mentions relative newcomers such as Aldi and Lidl, and Amazon's Amazon Fresh have attracted customers too. Also wondering about Target. I don't think Target is mentioned in this article, even though they're involved. They're a large corporation involved in selling groceries. Plus, some Americans stock up on food at warehouse clubs such as Costco, Sam's Club, and BJ's Wholesale. And according to a chart just below that, I guess Target's mentioned right here, Albertsons and Kroger's, after they combine, they will not have, they still will not top Walmart as a total share of dollars spent. They'll still be a few percentage points behind Walmart, who only has roughly 21% of the total share of dollars spent at grocery retailers, which I guess, according to some people, is a big, scary monopoly. Woo! I guess 20%. That's worthy of being broken up into smaller pieces these days. Not to mention, as I've discussed in videos before, I think when reacting to Crystal and Sagar and how they were freaking about media monopolies, I talked about how mergers and acquisitions, they oftentimes don't work out. They oftentimes don't work out in the long run, but I guess we'll see what happens. I guess we'll see what happens with this Kroger-Albertsons merger. I hope it works out well for everyone, including consumers and anyone who owns shares in Kroger and Albertsons. But nevertheless, contrary to what many people might have you believe, it doesn't sound like a big scary monopoly when you actually look at the facts.